How you doing, everybody? I did get a chance to run this, but I didn't get a chance to get a video because it's raining. I'm not taking cameras out in the video. We're gonna show you this running tomorrow. Yeah, I'm happy. I'll just put it that way. Yeah. Oh, we got sawdust on it. It's a ripper, buddy. It really is. I want it so bad. I waited all day. I'm standing here with this saw, doing this like, oh, will it quit raining? I had other things to work on. I got a 56 Magnum 2 that's already. Come on in. Tell them come in. We got somebody showed up. A local logger showed up.
Hey, come in. All right, yeah.
We got a local logger showed up. Old Evan. He's a kick. We gotta go and work on one of his jobs a little bit too, shouldn't we? That's what I think. Sorry about that little break, folks, but Buckins, I like the saw. I want you to know that. I really do. I see my Army buddy Dan Frieden in the comments there. Dozer Dan. He run Dozer for years and years out in Illinois, along the Mississippi River. They're, how you doing, Dan? He even said hello to me. He called me. We talked on the phone. What you got there, Evan? Bunch of stuff? We're making a YouTube video. You want to be on YouTube?
Sure.
Well, here Evan is. We're pull up the chair.
Over the garage, getting a new job logging. Some of these guys just don't want to work.
They don't want to work. You hear, Evan? What is it?
It was raining a little bit.
Oh, it rained.
He said there was muddy out there.
Today?
There's a lot of muddy.
Yeah, just get him on a stool over here. Get him sat right up here. Me and Evan's going to talk. This works out. I was wondering what I was going to do with this video when I started it, but we found out. We got Evan. We're going to sit down, Evan. You're going to be on YouTube.
YouTube? I've never done that.
Well, you're going to do it on YouTube right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're doing it now. What do you got here?
Piece of wood.
Piece of wood. Find out.
He just gave me a Gibson. He said, no, I did not. Hey, let's drag that old Marshall over here. That's something.
I got it in right there.
What year is this one?
2011.
2011?
It's supposed to sound like a 61 or 3.
Yes, I kind of thought. I seen them pickups. You think, Evan, boy, nice of him to drop this off. Oh, he took it away. Hey, guess what we got here? Pioneer p51.
Just what I need.
For Buck and Billy. I built it for him.
Yeah.
He's on X-Men Reborn there. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, this is a ripper. This will eat the butt out of a 66 Magnum or a 394.
For firewood, small ones.
Yeah, but we got a few of them around here up in the wall. So what happened? You're working with a bunch of young guys, aren't you? Is that what it is?
I think they got too much money.
Too much money. You ever heard of a logger with too much money? I haven't either.
Sloppy loose,
yeah, old Evan, he's been a logger more than a few days. He looks the part, don't he? Yep. Do you get when you walk?
I used to.
You used to?
Yes, I got twice.
It's tough work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell these people what it's like walking around these friggin' side hills.
Oh. Imagine walking in sand all day. That's what it does to your legs.
It does, doesn't it? And you're carrying your gas and your oil and everything you got. But logging in this area is something else. Hey, what's the chance we can go to one of your log jobs that you're working with, whoever you're working for, and do some cutting videos?
Probably a good chance.
Think we can get that set up? Yeah. You heard it, guys. We're going to do something different. I told you first year we're going to change up our game a little bit. But,
we could go to a bunch of them.
Yeah. We get some pretty righteous videos in. I think that's a good idea. Okay. Evan's a good man. About everybody logger, anybody logs within any kind of driver's distance knows who I am. You just know each other. This is the way it works, you know. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. I know I gotta go get hay here in a little while, but you guys needed to see this whole thing with a little bit of sawdust. Even if I couldn't run the darn thing, but ended up being a grand saw. It's a nice saw. This is a nice saw.
Not like an old home lighter or something.
Yeah, they have a little weight there, ain't there? Hey, Bucket, Evan's got your saw. Yeah, he's flipping that over. He's flipping that over. He's going to drop a tree right in here. Boom. There it is. You heard it here first. That's amazing, ain't it? Yeah, it is. I was going to tell you a little story about me and Dan. You can set that down wherever you're done with it. He said, he can set that down. Okay, me and old Dan was in the Army together. And there was... a lot of times, especially in rapid deployment force, it kind of sucks. You embrace the suck. It's 90% a suck. It's just the way it is. You're pounded right in the ground.
I guess we didn't need that.
And we got spare parts left over from one of my boys' project. We had to change the bearings. Anyways, I was always getting some foolish thing, bringing it home, working on it. Old Dano, he called him Dano, you know. He's always helping me. And, well, I don't know who I got it from. Can't remember. It was a long time ago. I got this darn fiberglass-bodied Sears Roebuck go-kart. It looked like Speed Buggy, you know, kind of like a half between Speed Buggy on the cartoon, that old one, and a Corvette or something. It was a pretty cool little deal. Well, we had an old friend, Pat Callahan. Pat, it'd be nice to hear from you again, buddy. I don't know where you are. We've looked for years for you, but you had. Anyways, he ended up with this whole Honda 754 motorcycle. And I looked at that go-kart, and I dragged that bike home. God, I messed around, got that thing running. Maybe Pat got that running. So we yanked that motor off that motorcycle, and we cut the back end of that body out on that go-kart where that little frickin' 5-horse Briggs was. We mounted this Honda 750 motorcycle engine on it. And I'm looking at this, and I said, well, we got it mounted. We had four pipes, went right straight down, right out underneath the rear end of it. And now Daddy's pretty creative. When I met his family, I found out why. They're big grain farmers. I mean, in Illinois, they did a lot of grain. Well, something interesting, he understood a bunch of things that at the time I didn't know. And so he come up with this jack shaft on pillow blocks, and we run chain to chain from the motorcycle with that, and he took a Hurst automatic shifter out of a car, and we run a rod up, and anyway, we got this thing where the shift was on the right side, you know, instead of being a foot shift, and we got the whole thing, brakes, clutch, everything working. Got it all working. And, well, we got it started. And the following day or so, old Danny, he went in the field. And, well, we had a sergeant, Buford Amos was his name, Sergeant Amos. And I think he was from Tennessee or somewhere, one of the Carolinas. I can't remember anymore. He pulls in my driveway that Saturday morning or Sunday morning, whatever it was. And he says... Harv, he says, where's your GTO? I says, what do you mean? I had a 66 GTO with 428 and tri-power, old 3-deuce setup, 4-speed car. It was black with a white interior. It run pretty good for GTO. Those of you that had them, yeah, they're legends, but they weren't fast. This one was pretty fast when I got done with it, you know, for an old heavy car. He said, I got this old cop car at auction. He says, the Georgia cop car. He says, I want to run that GTO. Oh, we don't do that on the street, no. I just want you, even when we was young, we didn't. But you know what that leads to. I says, Buford, I says, you can't even beat my go-kart. Why you want to run my car? Well, it's past 9 o'clock in the morning, being GIs, you know, he hands me a beer. We started drinking a few beers. You know, once that sun's up, man, that's tag, it's it. That's the way it is. You got a day off to take advantage of it, trust me. Yeah. Any of you been there, you know. So anyway, what I did, I had this small tin shed, and I opened the doors on that, and here that thing looked good when Danny and I got done with it. He was a master of freaking building weird stuff, and I had bright ideas at the time. Remember that, Dan? I always had an idea. Things that we did, you wouldn't believe some of them. I won't even tell them. I just won't even bother. This one I will, because it's almost insane. Well, we ended up taking tires off lawnmowers and all kinds of stuff, riding mowers, and we got bigger tires on this little joker and one thing and another. And I took that thing when he went in the field, and I took that thing out on the road, started blowing donuts. Well, he had that thing geared up like that motorcycle is. It'd run. It'd really run. Oh, Sergeant Amos standing there with a beer in his hand, and it's kind of spitting. He spits a little tobacco juice out, dips some stuff. He's staring at that freaking go-kart. He's staring at it, and he's staring at it. And it's like, well, I was about ready to say something. He turned and he looked at me. He says, Harv, you want a cop car? I said, what? He said, I'll give you this freaking old police cruiser. He says, that's a Georgia State Trooper car. They did run, trust me, back then. He said, I'll swap that for that go-kart. All right. Well, Daddy was looking forward to driving the darn thing. He did most of the work, want to know the truth, and he didn't even get a chance to run it. So, make a long story short, he had, Buford Amos had that old go-kart that we built with that motorcycle motor sitting in his garage. And it was a dirt floor garage, been there since a long time. It had a little bit of tilt to it. It was made of wood. And he'd go out there and he'd stare at it and he'd sit in and do this and that. Finally, he decided he's going to go ahead and start that. Of course, you got to, drink a little. Decided he's going to start that thing up, and he tried to find reverse. He run that sucker right through the back of his garage. I was a medic when I was in the Army. He come in on sick call, and he says, boy, Doc, he says, man, he got pretty beat up with that. Well, about 3-4 weeks later, I hear all about it from another fella, and he says, that frickin' Amos, man, you should have sold him that go-kart. I said, what do you mean? He outrun the cops right now. He said, they're chasing him. I said, what? He said, I'm not kidding you. He says, he took that thing right down the highway. He says, man, a cop got behind him. He said, he took off and left him. He left him. Well, he made a couple mistakes. It rained, and them Georgia roads, them roads are straight, man. They have wrecks on them because there's this little bitty tiny corner, and that was it. And it must be, that was before cell phones, so we can't even blame it on that. Blame it on the radio. So anyway, he going about 100 miles an hour, and he hits this little patch of water, and it's standing in that road, and the darn thing leaves the road. It gets right in the air, and I had one of the troopers tell me this, and it went down along them roads out there because the swamps are built up, and it went down alongside of that, and it come up, and he jumped that road, and he did that 2 or 3 times, and he finally got it all down in this, next to this barrier fence that's supposed to keep deer out, but it don't work. And so they caught him, they arrested him. Of course, he lost a little rank and stuff. So I believe that's what happened. Anyway, that was funny. That was funny, a darn old go-kart. I tell you, I've got hundreds of stories about things Danny and I did together, and they were good times. I went out there one summer and visited him, and I actually went to work for a little bit for him and his folks, working on equipment and just done some plowing for them. And boy, they had awful big tractors out there. I had more fun. We got Side Hill here is what we got. And boy, out there, that's dead flat. So anyway, I walk into the New Boston Bank, and I'm looking at this. What the heck is that? What's this? I don't understand. I says, Dan, what's this here on the sidewalk? And he said, well, that's the safe door. I go, what? Well, I was going to open an account there, and I did. He says, yeah. He says, Jesse James robbed this bank, and he blew that safe. And he says that went right out the front door, and he said that's where they landed. And he said they just left it there. And I'm not kidding you. Of course, they poured concrete right up around it, but that was out front. And This bank was proud of Jesse James robbing it, and I'm sure they was a little upset when it happened, but I guess he burnt the money up. He wasn't too good a safecracker, but it it is what it is, you know. And so what happened is they had all these pictures and stuff of the original when the bank was robbed in the safe and everything. And I went out front. That bank, I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if it looks the same now, but it was exactly the same inside and out. Very little things had changed in that bank since Jesse James had robbed that. But I hear they had a new safe. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.